People are often scared or worried about induction and what that might mean for them, but you really don't have to be. At the end of the day, you're going to be going home with a baby, and that's really exciting.
In most women, labour begins on its own. However, sometimes there are reasons why the baby should be delivered earlier before labour begins by itself. For example, your pregnancy has gone over 40 weeks and it's about 10 to 14 days over. Your waters have broken but you haven't gone into labour. Your baby has stopped growing, it's too small. You've been aware of your baby moving less or not at all. Or medical problems like raised blood pressure, preeclampsia, diabetes or cholestasis, which is the condition in pregnancy associated with itching. Induction of labour is the term used when maternity staff attempt to artificially start labour.
My name's Hannah. I had my second son in March 2019 and I had him through induction of labour, so this is some of my experiences. I knew I was going to be induced and I had a day or two before to prepare, and I was given an information sheet and that was really helpful. So I arrived on a Monday and got shown up to where I would be staying, so up to my part of the ward. I had a lovely midwife explain everything to me, so what would be happening first, what the process of induction was. She went through that again with me to make sure I understood, and then just settled in, made myself at home, got a drink. Everyone's so helpful, so I felt like I could always ask questions if I didn't know what was going on.
When your doctor thinks that induction is advised, they will discuss the reasons with you and gain your consent to continue, or put a plan in place to monitor you and your baby's well-being. The process of induction will be thoroughly explained and a written version given to you. At any point you can ask for questions and ask for more information. Midwives and doctors are very happy to answer your questions and give you more explanations as needed. Some women find it really helpful to write down their questions when they think of them, so they have them to hand when the opportunity arises.
Many women find induction an emotional time. It's not unusual to feel anxious, as even though explanations are given, you don't know exactly when and how they're going to affect you personally.
At the end of the day, you're going to be going home with a baby, and that's really exciting, tiring, but very exciting. And hopefully it won't take too long for you, but it really isn't something to be worried about. You will be told what's going to happen at every step of the way, and if you don't know what's happening, just ask, because someone will tell you and explain it to you.
Induction can take several days, and it's not unusual to be in hospital for up to a week.
Something women should be aware of is that it can take a lot of time, and you hear lots of stories about women having gone in and they're home later that day and it's great, and you know, they've literally home in time for tea. That wasn't the case for me, and that's something I think people should be aware of, is that when you go into hospital, take your creature comforts with you. If you've got a pillow that you like, take your pillow. If you want to take a picture of family or whatever, take things that are going to make you comfortable.
We understand that you may not enjoy being in hospital and away from home, friends and family, but while you're being induced, you can have your birth partner stay with you 24 hours a day if that's what you both choose, or they can come and go as needed. Please be aware, however, that in most hospitals there are no bed facilities for your partner to sleep in, and therefore sometimes partners prefer to go home and get a good night's sleep so they're more able to support you when you most need it. And also in most hospitals, meals are only provided for yourself and not for your partner.
I would say other things to note are that you can have your partner stay with you if you choose to, and they can stay overnight. My partner chose to go home because I was in a position where nothing much was moving, so I felt comfortable with him going home. But it's good to note that if they are staying, they'll be in an upright chair. There aren't extra beds for them, so it might be worth them bringing, you know, something just to freshen up, an extra t-shirt or something the next day.
If you have other children, it is often unsettling to be away from them for long periods of time, and you may have concerns about arranging childcare when you don't know how long you'll be away from them. Your children can of course visit you on the antenatal and postnatal wards, supervised by whoever brings them. There are no set times or hours for your children visiting, However, young children especially may be better visiting for only short periods of time. We do recommend that you have a flexible plan for childcare in place for a week when undergoing induction.
It's hard to say because no one knows how long you'll be in hospital for. I think for us, we're very lucky that we had lots of family and friends that were able to help. I think it's important to make plans for a good few days in advance to make sure that you're not worrying about what's going on at home.
Many women find induction very tiring. We do suggest that you rest when you're able to do so. Sometimes having music with earphones, books or magazines can be a really useful distraction while waiting for procedures to be undertaken or take effect. And some women benefit from using earplugs and eye masks, but you would need to bring these in for yourself.
So for me, what improved my experience and what I think might improve other people's experience would be make sure you have plenty of things to do.
Prior to induction, a vaginal examination should be offered by the doctor or midwife to sweep your membranes, which can help to start your labour. At the starting point of induction, a vaginal examination is undertaken to assess the readiness of the cervix or the neck of the womb for labour. This examination may be undertaken by a doctor or a midwife. The cervix is long, closed and firm before labour. The aim of induction is to get the cervix to thin out or efface and soften and start to open or dilate, which can then allow either spontaneous labour or the next step of induction. The thinning out and opening of the cervix are the natural or physiological processes that happen over a period of time. It's not possible to predict how long this will take. When labour happens naturally, the softening, thinning and opening of the cervix may normally happen over a few days, with women maybe feeling period type pains and being aware their abdomen becoming tight and then relaxing, or not being aware of these tightenings at all.
Induction has different steps and everyone's journey will not be the same. Some mothers will need all of the steps and others only one or two. The method of induction suggested by the doctor will depend on whether this is your first baby and whether you've had previously a caesarean section. Before induction is started, the midwife will check mum and baby to see both are well by checking mum's temperature, pulse, respirations and blood pressure, and undertaking a fetal monitoring of the baby called a CTG. The CTG involves having two straps around your abdomen which hold in place two cables, one which records your baby's heartbeat and the second which indicates if the abdomen is tightening. Once the midwife has ensured that all is well to start and you understand and have agreed to the induction, they will continue. Prostaglandin is the medication used to start induction and is inserted into the vagina. There are two different prostaglandin products used in induction, and the type prescribed will again depend on if this is your first baby or second baby and if you've had a caesarean section previously. The prostaglandin pessary is one of the medications used. It's inserted into the top of the vagina behind the cervix opening. It's like a flat tampon with an attached string which allows the pessary to be removed. The pessary can stay in place for up to 24 hours. Your midwife will then examine you again and either remove the pessary if the next step of induction is possible, or leave the pessary in place for another 8 hours. After 8 hours, you will be examined again. If the cervix is not yet ready, you will be given a few hours to rest and then be re-examined by your doctor. You may then be offered a second dose of prostaglandin as a vaginal gel. The prostaglandin gel is the other medication used for induction. You will have an examination the same as discussed for the vaginal pessary. The gel is inserted in the same way as the pessary, but with your reassessment to assess progress after 6 hours. The dose given and number of times the process is repeated will depend on the readiness of your cervix.
I had my first round of medicine, which didn't do much. I then had a second round, which didn't do much for me. And so that was a couple of days, and it does take a couple of days to go through those because you have to have that medicine for a certain amount of time, and then you have a break, and then you have another round and a break. So all of that can take a few days, but I was always kept really informed as to what was going on, why that was happening, and I could always ask questions, so that was fine.
Alternatively, sometimes a balloon catheter is used for induction. The catheter is inserted into the neck of the womb and the balloon is gently filled with water to apply pressure to the cervix. The balloon catheter is kept in place for 12 to 24 hours. The catheter then either drops out of the cervix or is removed. Whether you have the pessary, the gel or the balloon, the aim is for the cervix to have opened enough to allow a doctor or midwife to break your waters or membranes, and this would usually happen on the labour ward or delivery suite. There may sometimes be a delay in transfer from the antenatal ward to labour ward to undertake this next step, while the midwife in charge in labour ward ensures that there's a midwife available to give you the care that is needed and an appropriate room is available for you. The waters are broken by a doctor or a midwife. A vaginal examination is undertaken and an amni hook is used to break the membranes or the bag of waters around the baby's head. Once the membranes have broken, the waters or amniotic fluid may continue to drain until the baby is born. The midwife will give you a sterile sanitary towel to catch the waters as you move around, and the waters are normally very light yellow coloured or clear. Sometimes at this point, mums will go into labour without any further interventions. If this isn't your first baby, you are usually advised to walk around for up to 4 hours to encourage labour. The next induction stage will only be started then if you aren't in labour. If this is your first baby, you'll be advised to start the next step immediately after your waters or membranes have broken. And the next stage is to start a hormone drip in your arm. The hormone drip is started at a low dose using a syringe pump and increased slowly until there are 3 to 4 strong contractions lasting about a minute each in every 10 minutes. This level of contraction should allow labour to become established and to progress until your baby is born.
Some women have specific plans about how they would like to labour and birth their baby. The induction process may impact on some of your plans. If you have specific preferences or plans, it is advisable to discuss these with your midwife or doctor so that your choices and decisions are part of the decision-making process. An example of this may be that you want to be as mobile as possible in labour. However, the midwife or doctor recommends that you have a CTG continuously in labour because of the hormone drip. The CTG can impact on your ability to be mobile. However, you can still adopt upright positions, such as being on all fours or using a birthing ball while attached to the CTG. There may also be telemetry or wireless CTG system available.
If you have something in mind that you would like, make it really clear at the time, and you can say that at any point. So if you're in having your induction, you can say, I'd actually really like this as pain relief or no pain relief or whatever it is that you want, and they're so helpful. They'll always give you the best advice and what will be good. I would say it's really important to remember that you do have a choice with your birthing options. I had an early epidural, and that was through discussion with my consultant, anaesthetist. So if there's something that's really important to you with regards to your birth, whether it's pain relief or a position you'd like to be in or something like that, whatever it is to you that's important, just talk to your midwife or your consultant and your doctor about it, and they'll talk to you about it and how that can be made to work for you.
Most women will need or prefer to use pain relief during labour. However, many of these options aren't available until labour is fully established. Midwives will encourage you to use different strategies to help you manage any pain or discomfort that you feel during induction. Breathing in a relaxed, slow and deep manner can help to relieve discomfort and help you remain calm, which helps to manage the pain. It doesn't matter how you do it really, but some people find it helpful to count breathing in and out to ensure their breathing is deep and slow. Mobility and positions can also be really helpful.
There's so many options out there for pain relief, so if you are anxious about pain and that is something that is for you, because pain relief isn't for everyone, and that's also a conversation you can have, but if it is something for you, there's lots and lots of options.
Being upright, walking around and adopting certain positions can help with induction as well as relieve some of your discomfort. Many women find using a birthing ball can be very comfortable and really helpful. Soaking in warm water, such as a bath, is often very comfortable, relaxing and soothing. Sometimes women like to use TENS, a drug-free pain relief during induction and labour. TENS send small, safe pulses of electrical current via the leads to the pads on your skin. The pulses give you a gentle tingling sensation. You can control the frequency and strength of the pulses, and there's a boost button to press when you have a contraction. The TENS machine cannot be used in water, but can be worn while walking around, adopting different positions, or using the birthing ball. If you'd like to use a TENS, you need to bring one into hospital with you. Sometimes women ask for painkillers as well, which can also be given. Overall, it's really important that if you have any concerns or questions, or just something that you're not sure about, that you ask your midwife or doctor. All of the maternity staff are there to help you and want to help you to birth your baby safely and well. Staff would always rather answer your questions than leave you worrying or unsure about something. At any point, either before, during, or even after birth, please do ask if you have any questions or concerns.
Well, Monday through Friday I was on the maternity ward, so I saw a lot of comings and goings. I saw a lot of women coming in after me and going before me, and so you see a lot of what happens, and they're just so helpful in answering any questions I have. And there isn't a stupid question, and I'm pretty sure I asked lots of questions that could have been stupid, but they always answered them, and I always felt like I knew what was going on. They always had time to check that I was okay and comfortable, to update me on what would be happening next, because that was really important for me. I just love all the staff. Genuinely, they're so helpful and they're so kind, and nothing's too much trouble. And they do get really, really busy, but they always were there to help. So I can't speak highly enough of them, because they're just mega people that are just brilliant.